This week I have collabed with the fabulous Haley, and she is creating some fall DIY decor for you guys and giving you some great decorating tips, so be sure to check out her video. It is linked below. I normally go to my Pinterest and check out what I've been pinning all year prepping for the holidays, and that's where most of my inspiration comes from. I'll start to look around on my Pinterest and just notice that I'm coming across a theme. For instance, right now I'm looking at all white and like boho floral, so I'll stick with that and start to curate an idea. When I come across a pin where I know I own something already, I kind of jump at the chance. I already had these under my sink from previous floral arrangements that were given to me, so far we're not spending anything. Whenever I don't have glassware, I go to my local Goodwill and I source some really killer finds there. I found all of this for about 11 bucks. I also checked the dollar store and I found these really awesome textured vases for 4 bucks, so now we're up to about 15 bucks in this DIY. I found these ghost pumpkins at Trader Joe's for 69 cents each. It was a steal. I got 15 of them. Now all you gotta do, it is so simple, you just need to fill up these cylinders with your pumpkins until you are completely satisfied. I didn't end up using 2 of the Goodwill vases that I bought, and they're about 3 bucks each, so I'm gonna delete the cost for that, and it's gonna bring our total for this DIY down to 20 bucks because I didn't use it. Now time to actually execute the centerpiece. So I am no pro by any means. I keep referencing the Pinterest photos that I love the most, and then I kind of just mess around, if you will, with the pieces that I created and see what really fits my table and fits my space. I just stuck some candles that I already had into the vases, that way I can add some warm lighting, and just kept moving things around until I felt good with the placement. Once I had my base of everything set, it's time to accessorize, so I went to my front yard and I literally cut off branches from a tree and picked some flowers. That is keeping my cost at 20 bucks. This is where it's totally up to you how much you want to put on the table. I kept it pretty minimal with just some leaves on the table surrounding the glassware and maybe 1 or 2 flowers, but I love that I can just go to my front yard and pick more if I need it, and it's totally free. Tea lights are always your best friend when in doubt. It adds such warm lighting and just really makes a piece come together. You can buy these at Michael's for 3 bucks. Don't need it as a centerpiece, you can literally just add it directly to your mantle. This was mine before, and this was after. This was more of a rustic inspiration with the antlers and the wine bottles, and I came across this hack because I did save a bunch of wine bottles to execute a centerpiece like this, and it ended up working out really well. I took off the tin of the top of whatever wine bottles if there were any, then fill up your sink with the hottest water possible. Submerge the wine bottles under completely. I had to fill up some of the bottles with water so it would sink and they would stay covered the entire time. Next, she says to dump in a half a cup of baking powder, add a tablespoon of dish soap, and then 2 cups of white vinegar. She says to let them soak for 30 minutes. I let them soak for an hour, but then when I pulled out the wine bottles, the labels literally just came off super easily. I was very, very impressed by this little Pinterest hack. Whatever residue that was left on some of the wine bottles, I literally just took my fingernail and scraped it off or used a scrubber, and I didn't have to really press hard or fight with it. It was so easy to get all the stuff off. So I just went ahead and repeated that to as many wine bottles as I needed for the centerpiece, then I let them dry completely upside down in my dishwasher. So once those were dry, I ended up just scattering them around on the table to create the centerpiece, and again, I am no pro, just move them around how it fits your space. You can find antlers at HomeGoods for cheap. These were actually gifted to me, so I didn't spend any money, but it looks like she spent about 14 bucks on each antler. But for me, they were free. I did end up adding some vases from the dollar store, which is gonna bring the cost up to 2 bucks because I had to buy those, but everything else, the tea light candles and the lawn candles that you see, I already had. I then added some of the ghost pumpkins that I purchased from Trader Joe's. I added about 8 of those, so it's bringing the cost up to about 8 bucks. I went to my backyard and found some awesome greenery, and that kept my price to $8. I didn't have to spend anything on florals. To To turn this into your mantle decor, just line up the bottles on top of the mantle. This might look a little weird, like you drank a little bit too much over the holidays, but I like it. I added the 2 antlers to each side of the mantle and just kind of scattered everything like I did before. I am obsessed with anything ombre and metallic, so I just Pinterest around a little bit and then came across these and I was totally inspired. You will need some masking tape and an X-Acto knife. As I mentioned before, I bought these guys from Trader Joe's for about 10 bucks and I owned all but 2 of these spray paints, so I ended up spending about 10 bucks on the steel colorway, so that brought the cost up to 20 bucks for this DIY. So I took my pumpkin and I covered the stem of it with masking tape because I wanted to be able to spray paint the entire pumpkin but leave that stem and its natural color for some texture. And it also makes them not look super fake after you spray paint them. Once I covered all of the stems, I kind of just took all my pumpkins and pushed them into a line that kind of tapered off on both sides and was the length of the space that I wanted to cover. A little tip for you, if you're setting up prior to an event or a party and you like the way things look, always take a photo because you can always replicate it. So that's what I did here. Now that these are all lined up the way I wanted to, I lined up my spray paint in accordance to like darkest to lightest or whatever kind of ombre you want to do. That way I can gauge kind of how many pumpkins I need to spray paint. I'm a very visual person. I'm absolutely in love with these guys. You just peel the masking tape off and you can see that leaving that stem did give a lot of texture. I'm also gonna leave this up on the screen for you to screenshot so you can see what pumpkins look like what with which spray paint I used. Once they are dry, go ahead and reference the photo that you took before of your little tapered off pumpkins and try to mimic that again. Add some tea lights and you're done. And if you want to use these on your mantle, all you have to do is line them up in the ombre that you want and you're done. You guys did stick around. Okay, first and foremost, Haley, thank you so much for collaborating with me on this fall DIY. Do not forget to check out her video. And I just wanted to say a quick thank you to the 10,000 subscribers that we hit last week, and now this week we hit 11, and now we are almost hitting 12. I am just completely blown away. Because I missed 2 major milestones, I didn't get to thank you guys face to face. I am going to be doing another Instagram giveaway. If you guys have been with me since day 1, the other giveaways I've done are exactly the same. You're just gonna go to my Instagram, go to this photo, like it, comment on it. You'll have to be following me. If you want to enter, there's going to be 2 winners, but I'm not going to tell you what's going to be in the box because I am tailoring it specifically for each winner. I will also slide into your DMs if you are the winner next Wednesday, so be on the lookout. Do not forget to enter, subscribe, comment. Just keep being the dope humans that you are. Alright guys, I'll see you next Wednesday.